My fellow Albertans, tonight we want to speak directly to our province's parents and teachers. On behalf of your provincial government, we want to share the steps that we've taken today to get students and teachers back in the classroom, and why we must now take action to prevent further learning loss for our students. Beginning in early 2024, the Teachers Employer Bargaining Association, or TEBA, and the Alberta Teachers Association, or ATA, began negotiations for the 2024 to 2028 bargaining contract. The initial ask from the ATA was for a 35% wage increase for teachers, and the Government of Alberta's initial position was an 8% increase. The two sides met regularly over the next year, eventually reaching what would be the first of two tentative agreements on April 2025. This offer extended teachers the same 12% general wage increase agreed to by nurses. The tentative agreement also included competitive pay increases to keep pace with what teachers earn in other provinces, and hundreds of millions of dollars in supports for classroom complexity and sizes, with teachers providing a great deal of input into how those dollars would be spent. These general raises were worth more than $12,000 a year by the end of 2028. The deal also contained further adjustments to pay that would have provided some teachers as much as a 17% increase. Despite the agreement being recommended to teachers by their union as meeting the needs of teachers expressed in our negotiations, teachers voted down the agreement on May the 6th. The ATA then took a successful strike vote that would have expired on October the 7th if not utilized. At the same time, in late June, the ATA's negotiation focus shifted away from working collaboratively to address classroom complexities and toward requesting a firm commitment to hire additional teachers instead. We continued to bargain in good faith with the hopes of reaching an agreement. In late September, our government agreed to the union's proposal for hiring 3,000 more teachers and providing the teacher pay boosts earlier in the settlement period. Once again, the union's bargaining committee recommended the deal discussed at the table to teachers. That deal was also rejected.
Now, we understand the frustration that teachers are feeling. We know that some are struggling with larger class sizes and others are struggling with more complexity in their classrooms. And we know as well that some teachers are struggling with both of those challenges. We've worked with the ATA leadership to offer a deal that would reduce class sizes, offer increased supports for complex student needs, and pay our teachers more. In the background of these negotiations, our province is also facing financial challenges. The budget for this year, as of the first quarter, is going to have a deficit exceeding $6 billion. As global energy prices continue to be lower than forecast and the market continues to be unpredictable, we cannot say whether the situation will improve or worsen. However, despite these challenges, the government has continued to invest in education funding. The budget for the Ministry of Education and Childcare is going to increase more than 20%, from $10.8 billion in 2024 to $13 billion in 2028. Not only that, we've also committed $8.6 billion to build and renovate 130 schools by 2030. That brings us to the teacher strike that began on October 6, a strike that has taken 51,000 teachers and more than 740,000 students out of the classroom for weeks. The strike has disrupted student learning for the second time in just 5 years. Many of our students are still working to catch up from missed in-person learning due to COVID-19. This cannot happen again. This government will not allow students to face substantial learning losses due to a breakdown in bargaining.
To keep our students learning, the Government of Alberta will be tabling legislation that will put teachers and students back in the classroom where they belong. Learning will resume and the disruption to the education of Alberta's students will end. With this action, we are determined to meet the needs of teachers with a new legislated contract that will include substantial pay increases of at least 12%, with 95% of teachers making even more, up to 17%. This means starting salaries will be at least $70,000, with our most senior teachers earning all the way up to $119,000. Substantial increases for substitute teacher rates of pay, with some receiving up to a 20% boost. Hiring 3,000 new teachers and 1,500 new education assistants. This deal was the last mutually agreed upon deal and proposed to teachers by the ATA in September. This deal went $300 million over the agreed upon deal proposed by the third-party mediator in May 2025.
And we're doing this because we hear teachers' concerns about classroom complexity and sizes. We want to be clear. The government wants teachers to have the resources they need and pay them a fair salary for the essential work that they do. However, Alberta's families, and more importantly students, cannot sustain any more learning disruption.
If this legislation is passed, teachers and students will be back to work starting on Wednesday, October 29th. We wish we did not have to take this step and that we could have reached a negotiated agreement. We encourage the Alberta Teachers Association leadership to work with us to find an effective path forward so that we can continue to provide a world-class education system for our students for years to come. But our job is not done. In fact, the hard work starts now. We will continue working with school authorities, teachers, and families to implement innovative solutions that address class size and complexity, and that support students and teachers across the province. We'll have more to say on those steps soon.